Hey, what's up, Aquarius? This is the Sylgian Divinir. I'm going to be doing a timeless tarot reading for your sign. I'm not going to be utilizing any forms of astrology, so like sun, moon, rising kind of stuff, Venus sign, all that kind of thing. Not my strong suit at the moment. I'm still rather new to doing these tarot readings in terms of video quality. I've done plenty of my own reads, personal readings, but I am not extremely sophisticated yet in doing readings for others like this. So I appreciate that you are here taking a look at this video, and I appreciate you putting up with any of the growing pains that I might exhibit while doing this reading for you. Alright, so quick stipulation, my camera every once in a while likes to freeze up, so it might freeze up for a minute or two before I notice. I'll have to go over and cycle it out. I apologize for that. Another thing I'm working out. Another thing is that I do not like to draw cards for clarification. I prefer to shuffle and let cards fall out for the clearest form of clarification. Perhaps if a card flips out, I'll take the card. Well, I always take the card if it flips out, if it's a single card. And every once in a while, if a card is sticking out pretty far in the shuffle, I will take that card as well. But I'm not a big fan of just drawing a bunch of cards linearly and utilizing them. It's never been my preferred method. So throughout the reading, you will see me shuffling quite a bit, looking for the proper cards to use. So I appreciate you putting up with that as well. And I'm trying to remember, I think there might have been like one other thing I wanted to mention, but I'm having trouble remembering what that was, or if I even wanted to actually mention something. So for now, since I am not thinking of what it is, I am simply going to continue working on shuffling for your read. So with that being said, let us see if Spirit has anything that they want to drop out for you. So for this general reading, Spirit, what kind of clarity can you provide for any listening Aquarius? Oh, and also, all typical disclaimers for this video are assumed, stipulated, so make sure you watch out for scammers. Make sure you take what resonates and leave the rest. Do not force anything that I say into your fold, because if it's not meant for you, it's not the truth for you, and you will rely on falsity in your decision making. And if that's the case, because you misinterpreted what messages were meant for you, that is not my fault, and I will not be taking liability for anything of the sort. Alright, so now that I remember that that's what I wanted to say, I'm going to continue shuffling here until I get some kind of clarification for just exactly what Spirit wants you to know. So Spirit, without further ado, do you have anything that dear old Aquarius here needs to hear? Anything in particular to get this reading started? Anything in particular that you think Aquarius needs to know, Aquarius needs to work on? Anything relevant for whichever Aquarius you deem this necessary for resonation? Okay, so we do have one card sticking out a little bit in that regard, so maybe there's a little bit trying to come out here. I apologize. I know that this method is, it can take a second compared to some other readers who do like 3 shuffles and then grab 6 cards and just read whatever. But that feels like a little bit of a cop-out if you ask me. So I am unfortunately rather diligent about making sure Spirit gives a clear understanding through a card dropping out or flipping out rather clearly, or a card sticking out rather severely. So that was a flip out, but it wasn't enough. We have another card sticking out here. Let's see what I'm going to check out what it is. And if I start to get some resonance, once again, too many cards slipping out, so I don't take those. Not clear enough. Once again, too many cards slipping out. Alright, well, sorry Aquarius, we're at 6 minutes, and I have shuffled dry. I am not actually managing to get anything for you in this reading so far. One card sticking out here again. Nothing matching as of yet. This card was trying to pop out. But unfortunately, I'm not getting any clear resonance for you. I hate to break it to you. 2 cards trying to stick out here. No correlations. Once again, no correlations. Man. Not how I was anticipating this. Perhaps I don't have a great message for you. So, now that I'm having this occur, I'm going to swap to my other deck here. Because sometimes swapping decks can make all the difference. So, this deck shuffles a little differently here. But let us see if there's anything that can fall out here for you. Because the last reading I did was for Capricorn, and I managed to get a few things, but it didn't take this long to drop some cards. And even with this deck, I'm not getting anything here. Should I flip the deck over? Or should I reversing it and see if anything comes to come out? Alright, so what we've got for you is the 6 of Cups in reverse. So that is not a fantastic card. The 6 of Cups in the upright typically represents, it's a form of nostalgia. The card can represent reminiscing over something in your youth, reinvigorating a past energy, a past emotionality, attaching to some kind of emotional resonance in your history. But that is disappointing because the 6 of Cups is in reverse. And in the reverse, there's a good shot that you are not healthily, you're not reminiscing in a healthy manner. You might be reminiscing in an obsessive manner. So there's an obsessive way in which you are perhaps holding on too tightly to something in your history of nostalgia. There's something in your history where you are perhaps allowing a high point in your history, and the fact that you are not at that high point, or you cannot seem to get to that high point, you are allowing that difference to keep you from reaching to new heights. Or you are perhaps abandoning your capacity to reach for the future because you are stuck in the past. It's not a healthy form of reminiscence. The Six of Cups in reverse. In the reverse, you are misusing the intent of that nostalgia, which is supposed to invigorate your emotionality, and instead you are allowing that nostalgia to be disrupted by mentalisms that are not serving you properly. So you are more or less negating the quality of the nostalgia, and you are allowing the lack of, or not the lack of, but you are allowing the fact that you don't have that history anymore in your current reality to hold you down, because you are more or less living in the past. You're not just re-experiencing the past in a form of healthy nostalgia, you are allowing it to empower mentalism about how now is not as good as the good old days, so to speak. So that's pretty clear as a message. It's disappointing. I don't know if there's any kind of clarity here that Spirit can give, but that was the only card that slipped out. We are at 12 minutes, and a lot of other tarot readers, of course, managed to get past 12 minutes with plenty of cards. But in my own personal style here, which I made this deck by myself, and I don't know if I am screwing up some kind of copyright rule by recreating this card, but these are all just duplicate common cards of this particular brand. So I used them to create this deck, which was my first deck actually. And it shuffles interestingly, like this. Where I can just kind of film the cards together with these sleeves. But not getting a lot of clarification on this. I got the Six of Cups coming out here in the reverse for you, which is disappointing. It's very disappointing energy, that's for sure, but is there any kind of clarification that I can get? So I'm actually going to put this deck back down and go back to trying the other one, because I don't think you have a whole lot of fun and interesting insight from watching me shuffle. Even though the Six of Cups in reverse can provide some clarity. So this card kind of stuck on my hand. That would be a way that card could have resonated. Okay, so we got a card to flip out for you. And that card you got was the Queen of Swords. So this is a card I've sort of figured out to a decent extent. While the suit cards like this tend to represent people, they can represent other people. They can also represent yourself. So while the typical cards represent more or less, more specifically, they represent energies, they represent states of being, they represent certain forms of emotionality. These cards typically represent a person, and it is an air sign, which I can't remember if Aquarius is air. I think they might be an air sign. What is the water signs are Gemini, Cancer, Pisces, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's like Aquarius and Libra are air signs. I can't remember, but this might actually be a sign that represents you. I can't remember off the top of my head. But okay, so here's the deal with the Queen of Swords. The kings and queens represent masculinity and femininity. That is just the nature of it. At the same time, the different suits, wands, swords, cups, pentacles, represent forms of masculine energy and forms of feminine energy in their own right. So the cups and the pentacles, which sort of represent water and earth, are feminine energies, whereas the swords and the wands, which represent wind and fire, are masculine energies. So we have a unfortunate combination in this particular card where we have a queen, a feminized energy, muddled in with the masculine energy of the sword. And the unfortunate quality that this creates is it creates a feminine character that is not relying on their feminine resonance and is instead relying on the more masculine quality of the sword and the wind energy. This is very disappointing because if you consider the Queen of Cups, for instance, which is a feminine energy that is matched by the feminine cup energy, that is a much more natural position to be in for the feminine capacity. By the same extent, if you have perhaps the... So you just had another card flip out here, which is the Emperor in reverse. So this is very, very... Okay. So, with the Queen of Swords, there is a mismatch in the feminine natural resonance of the Queen. The Queen of Swords is not relying on her natural feminine intuition. She's not relying on her natural feminine capacity to channel emotional resonance, and she has instead fallen back on having to use her mental capacity and her more critical capacity of using sort of like mental wordings and more specifically mental criticality, which the feminine quality is not fond of by default. If they are channeling their resonance properly, they kind of work against this criticality. But however, this Queen of Swords has found herself in a position where that is what she relies on in her life for whatever reason. She has turned away from her emotional capabilities, and she is instead, for whatever reasons, relying on the masculine mentalism, and it creates probably the greatest travesty of all of the court cards. All of the other Lord versions, kings and queens, are more in tune with their matching. This one in particular, unfortunately, can leave, even in the upright position, can leave this queen in a bizarre state of never really being at peace with her inner world, because she's abandoned her natural feminine capacity and has been embracing a more masculine mental approach to things. And this can leave her coming off as maybe not so much bitter in the upright, but maybe coarse. Maybe perhaps she comes off crass. She definitely comes off as critical. So she's not managing to connect properly with her femininity. She is constantly fighting against her natural rhythm. It's probably the greatest travesty of, like I said, these court cards. She is definitely in a form of resistance. It is a disappointing place to be in my opinion. But it speaks to... It can speak to... It can speak to somebody else, so maybe it's not you exactly. That's something that you have to just determine. Is this you, or is this maybe somebody you're dealing with? But I hope I got the point across here that this is not a, it's not, you'd rather be the King of Swords because that's more natural. You would rather be the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Cups. That's a more natural match. This is this is an abrasive pairing of feminine and mental energy and masculine energy. The masculine energy is disrupting and oftentimes being used to override a natural feminine capacity of a queen of quality. So, okay, so I feel like I've kind of rambled on about that. I hope I got that clear, because that's a card I've come to understand at a personal level, and I don't have to speculate too much. So I hope I got that across. So let's try to discuss some clarifications. So unfortunately, at the beginning of this also, you have the Six of Cups in reverse, which is a sign of misapplied emotionalism. And to clarify that, we are referring to an individual here who has turned away from their emotionalism and has turned towards a more mental criticism and more mental criticality, sharper words, crasser, more abrasive, not in a natural vibrance, which is to a certain extent it's a lack of authenticity, and it is a way that you can rub people the wrong way. Because if you were a man being critical like that in that form, it would, even though it might be at the same level of annoyance on a quantitative level and a qualitative level, it's still more natural, and that resonates differently. So when people deal with this energy, it's disappointing for them because they are disappointed that your potential to embrace yourself as the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Pentacles and utilize your emotional resonance is being stifled for some reason. And if we take a look here, what we have is the nostalgia of how things used to be, disrupting your emotionalism. It's a misuse of your emotionalism because you are not having healthy nostalgia about the past. You are having a unhealthy mental interference with why you are ruminating on your history and why you are reliving your past and why that nostalgia is not healthy. And what do you know? The clarification, it comes in as the Queen of Swords, who is someone who has turned away from their emotions for mental reasons. So the mental disruption that provides the Six of Cups in reversed is exactly what the Queen of Swords is kind of set up to embody, because their mentalism has interfered with their emotionality. So their healthy emotionality is not in place, and it's due to an overriding mentalism. So whoever this is, whether this is you or somebody you're dealing with, they are unhealthily ruminating on their history, and it's charging some kind of mentalism in them that is disrupting their ability to embrace a more natural emotionalism. And unfortunately, this is going to sound super cliche, but with the Emperor in reverse, the Emperor is a combination of all four kings in an archetypal sense in general, which means that it is essentially the most quote-unquote masculine card. And the problem is that this card is in the reverse. So the Emperor in the upright is a extremely stable masculine figure. They have managed to tie together not just masculine qualities, but feminine qualities, because they are the masculine kings and the feminine kings. They're the kings of swords and wands, the masculine kings, but they're also the kings of pentacles and cups, which are more feminine energy. So it's not just a raw masculine here. The Emperor is in fact a balancer of masculine and feminine qualities. which is why it's so destructive to get the Emperor in reverse, because the Emperor in reverse is somebody who, despite their power to reach the height of an Emperor, they are misaligning their capacity to use that power for good. They are not using their emotions in a healthy sense, and it can lead to a lot of different tribulations in terms of like instead of a healthy emotional core where they are embracing their emotionality and applying it to others, they are having toxic emotionality. That toxic emotionality drives their masculinity, their masculine qualities also into the dirt, and they have lost their capacity to be using their emotions and using their mentalism for constructive purposes, and they are instead it's sort of like a belligerence of high power. Like, it's a very disappointing, it would be like having a very disappointing king, a very disappointing lord, an emperor that is letting you down, not lifting you up. So with that being said, the cliche thing, unfortunately, that I'm seeing here is that this is the father figure that let down this Queen of Swords and forced this Queen of Swords out of their natural feminine capacity to feel love properly. And due to being let down so hard by this masculine character, they turned away from their heart. And they turned towards the more masculine quality of the sword to compensate. Because dealing with this masculine figure has to a certain extent, has broken their heart. And the really cliche thing to say, I hate to say it, but it's a girl with daddy issues. And it's super cliche, but that is sort of what I'm seeing here. Had this emperor been in the upright and had been able to stabilize this feminine character's, and this could be a guy too. It could be a guy, it could be a male embodying this problem of their feminine capacity being stifled and having to turn towards masculine capacity. And the masculine figure causing that to happen. And with the fact that the Six of Cups is here in the reverse, this Queen of Swords is essentially ruminating on their disappointment in this emperor, in this masculine figure. So for whatever reason, this masculine figure let down this Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is ruminating on that history, and instead of being able to have positive and optimistic nostalgia of an optimistic emperor and a properly worked emperor, the inability of the emperor to harness their own energy for good, so to speak, has put this queen in a position where she is, or this queen archetype, it has put them in a position where they can't get over this history, or considering this history is painful, or it's snagging them up. That being said, the saving grace is the fact that this Queen of Swords is in the upright. If the Queen of Swords was in the reverse, that would signify that this Queen of Swords is taking out this negative nostalgia and the disappointment from this masculine figure out on others. and it would be a very bitter queen. It would be a very negative queen. It would be a queen that belligerizes her subjects. It would be a queen that takes it out on everybody else. It would be a queen that has really fallen into the depths of despair and takes it out on everyone else. But in this instance, you actually got the Queen of Swords in the upright, which means that despite how this queen might feel on the inside about this nostalgia and about how much it hurts this queen that this masculine figure let them down, this queen has found the capacity, regardless of the fact that she's had to turn away from her emotions to do it and turn towards the unnatural capacity of mentalism, masculine energy. She has still kept a form of optimism in how she pours forth her power and her energy into other people. She has actually managed to overcome these tribulations for the sake of others, which is very valiant because it's come at the price of her own internal capacity to energize her emotions properly. And she has had to turn away from her heart due to whatever this disappointment is, but she's not taking it out on others necessarily. She's not bitterized to the point where she has lost her capacity to consider her effect on others with her power, which is almost worse because she doesn't have an outlet for these things. Her outlet is the fact that she has shut down her internal resonance, which speaks to something great about her. It speaks to the fact that she won't turn it on others, even though it's bottled up in here. That speaks to somebody who hasn't lost their heart, even if they forgot how to find it. Even if they don't think they can trust it because it hurt too much when this person let them down, or when this person hurt them. And on top of it, they have trouble turning this memory into optimism. And perhaps that's because they've turned into their mentalism so much that they've created mental habits of ruminating over this. Spirit, what else can we get for this? This is... I feel like this person, whoever this Queen of Swords is, you or somebody else, they have got great potential within them because they have not turned their sorrows onto others. They have not chosen to bleed their suffering onto others and think others need to suffer with them. And they have not used their power to turn others down their same route. And they have sacrificed a part of their own heart to make sure that those other people, their subjects, don't have to take suffering upon themselves just because of the inner turmoil of this queen. And that is something that is valiant. And it speaks to great potential. And I'm sorry for whoever let you down so hard in your past. I am sorry that they were such an important masculine figure in your life, or never were. And I'm sorry that it is affecting you so much, and that you can't have a memory of healthy history from this person or with this person. But you have not abandoned, or this queen has not abandoned, how important it is to not repeat that pain onto their subjects. And that is a quality of a great queen. Because if you can get over this person, if you can get over this lack of emotionality in this Queen of Swords, you will be able to embrace such a different quality for those people that you are protecting from your own sorrows. And those people can be there for you where this person was not. Those people can turn into this, where you are remembering them with vibrance and light and greatness and happiness and joy. You don't have to get stuck here thinking that this situation is defining yourself, even though it is. Even though it's locking your heart away. Your heart is strong. This person's heart is strong, even if it's not there for you. Even if this person not being there makes you think that your heart shouldn't be there for you either. And you're locked in this mentalism where you are stuck only feeling about this pain, even though you are holding your capacity to not take it out on other people. There is potential here to... There's great potential in this person. This person, this Queen of Swords, man or woman, it's super cliche to say that I think this is an actual woman, but the daddy issue, like the daddy issue correlation here is very strong, very typical. Even if maybe it's a guy embodying this who had a masculine figure that caused the same issues. I'm feeling quite deeply for this, whoever this Queen of Swords is. Because so much of the world turns against the rest of it and thinks that everyone else needs to suffer like them. So when someone else can rise above that for the sake of others, when someone else can, regardless of their pain, not think other people have to suffer along with them, that is very conscientious. And it's very loving at its core, and it is an endearing quality of a queenly soul. And I'm looking for a little bit of clarity here. This has been quite a powerful read up to this point. Whoops, this light's a little funky here. Let me move this. Maybe something like this. Sorry about that, I'm still getting the glares worked out. So this, I'm trying to find some kind of clarity because I'm wondering how can this Queen of Swords move beyond this? How can this Queen of Swords evolve themselves into a Queen of Cups or a Queen of Pentacles? How can they find, or even maybe even a Queen of Wands, just moving out of this Queen of Swords, which is extremely domineered by mentalism and lacking of emotionality in your heart. But it's not as if you are heartless. It is that you have locked yourself in a mentalism that you think you deserve because of how you have been let down by someone who has, by some kind of masculine figure that for whatever reason has really stuck in your craw. But from what I'm reading here, from the resilience that you have had to not treat others like that, this, dang it, that one kind of, I'm sorry, for some reason I lost that line. I was going to say something and I lost it right at that point. The this Queen of Swords deserves better than this. Their ability to fight, their ability to rise above this and not transpose it onto others means that they will forever and always be better than this person. This person, this entity, whoever this reversed emperor is, whoever this letdown of a masculine is, this Queen of Swords does not, this Queen of Swords is too good to be brought down by this person. This Queen of Swords is proving too much conscientiousness for someone like this to be bringing them down. You do not deserve to be brought down by whoever this is. You are too good for that. You don't deserve to have your heart locked away by somebody who couldn't bring your heart out for you. And I'm not sure if I'm going to manage to get any more clarifiers here, but this, even just these 3 cards, has been pretty clear to me. This Queen of Swords has got to find this somehow. Maybe they can find this person to replace the Emperor that failed them and create better emotionality for themselves and create nostalgia that is healthy for you, for them, and get out of this energy. This person, whoever this person is lucky, is fortunate, was blessed that you were a part of their world, not the other way around. You are the one that deserves love in this situation. You are the one that deserves to be the Queen of Swords. This Emperor has failed their post, has failed their throne. And despite their failure, you have risen above. Even though you have had trouble sacrificing their memory, the memory of them. But the memory of them is taking away something from you. It is taking away something. It is diminishing a special quality that you are showing here. And this person, whoever this is, they're not good enough to take that away from you. You've already proven how great you are by giving them all of this attention in yourself. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm welling up a little bit in my heart for this person. Whomever this Queen of Swords is, you or someone else, man or woman, especially if you're a woman. If you're a woman and you are stuck on like your father not being there, it is affecting you in ways that you are not taking out on others. Because you don't understand why you couldn't be loved properly. So you haven't abandoned that love. You've perhaps integrated it into yourself, but you haven't lost something so important that can happen when this archetype finds itself in this situation. The resilience of this Queen of Swords and the potential in this Queen of Swords, which I know I keep saying this, but I just want to like punch this Emperor, whoever this fucking Emperor is. Clock right in their fucking nose. Because they don't understand the quality of person that they have neglected. They don't understand, or maybe they don't even care. And maybe that's because they are the petty one. Maybe they're the jealous one. Maybe they are insecure in their own right. Maybe they are... Ooh. Alright. So I just got a clarifier. Dang. As if the Queen of Swords, as if this Queen of Swords needed more negative energy to show up in this situation. You get the Star in reverse. So, I do believe the Star follows the Tower. So if we're looking at the Star like this, you have to imagine that more or less, this is, if you're familiar with tarot, this star is the sun. Quote unquote, it's a sun. But the idea is that the star actually embodies a lot of the same qualities of the sun card. It's not about necessarily the pure emotional vibrance of the sun card, but it is kind of representative of the results from embodying the power of the sun card. So instead of the raw emotionality of the sun card, the light of the sun card, the vibrance of the sun card, the resonance of the sun card, the star card is about the results of the difference the sun card can make. So in a typical upright fashion, it's wonderful getting the star card because that means that there's high optimism and high chance of succeeding in happiness and succeeding in... And I'm kind of forgetting off the top of my head, so give me a quick second to clarify this really fast because this reading is starting to mean a lot to me if I do say so myself. Okay, so yeah, I mean the star card is like... The star card in the upright is basically this happening. But that's what sucks about this coming out in the reverse is that you got this going on. You got the reverse star card. And if I double check here, what the star card in reverse is it's like... Jeez. It's even... So like... Ugh. And like the star card in reverse is like... It's just pessimism. It's emotional pessimism. It is not seeing the way through. It is not finding hope on the path forward. It is... It is a card of pessimism and negativity winning the day over you. Which is kind of the energy you are going to be locked in if you cannot figure out how to let this go. Even though you have retained your quality for others, your internal world is going to be stuck here. and here. And it's not just that they're stuck here, it's that you've integrated inside of your mentalism that it's never going to change. And that's even worse. Because you're not even trying to find a way out of this. You're not even trying to find a way that's overcoming this. You've integrated it. You've accepted it. And it can even deter your abilities to find the light in your leadership. So like the more and more and more you're stuck in the star reversed, the more and more and more you start to become this. The more and more you start to lose that optimism that keeps those around you from being your emotional punching bag, so to speak. Because you've given up on the idea that it could ever be better. And that leads you into a really dark form of complacency. Yet, you are still given this. So even though you feel like this, you still haven't given up on taking it out on others. You still haven't given up on not doing this to other people. And it's actually affecting you even more. It's not just that you are feeling these things and moving on. It is that it has won the day over you. Yet you are still holding your energy. Man. So this is kind of something else the star is saying, is that because you are in this star energy, the option is on the table for you to put this in your past, to leave it in your past. It's a call for why you don't try to fix it, because it feels like this. But there's also the hidden gem that means that you have the option to overcome this. But to do that, you have got to let this go. You don't have to forget it. But you've got to figure out how to not let it rule who you are. It is taking away the best you. The you that other people can see. Because you aren't letting them down like this person let you down. You have got to turn this around. You can find your light. This doesn't have to be. This isn't. I don't know why this person has done this to you. And the idea that you have taken it upon yourself is natural for people with this potential. People of this quality take these things upon themselves because of their capacity to care about other people and have compassion and have conscientiousness. And this person gets away with it because they don't. So if your fear and your nostalgia is about them not caring about you, you might be right. And you're letting that rule who you are. And if you were this person taking it out on everybody else, maybe you two would be a match for each other. But apparently you're better than that. This person does not deserve to hold any power over you. This person deserves to kneel before you for all of the good you can be, for all of their hurt that you've taken upon yourself. They should be weeping at your grace. You are the good that they will never be. You can be this good for everyone else around you. You already are. Your last step is to be that good for you. This person isn't going to do that for you. Maybe one day, through your example, they can find their light. And maybe one day, you can be free of their lack of consideration for your good qualities. And maybe that is your dream. Maybe this is who you want. Maybe this is your heart's desire beyond all other factors. But if you want this to happen, the first thing you have to do is recognize that you will always be better than they will ever be like this. And they don't deserve 1 ounce of your energy. They don't deserve 1 ounce of your consideration as long as they would lock away such a bright light and not give 2 shits about it. I think I've kind of belabored the point here. Let me see if this video is still okay. Good. It hasn't frozen. It's almost at 1 hour. Okay. So I think I've gotten my point across. I'm gonna see if Spirit has anything else for you. Alright, Spirit, is there anything else? Or has this Queen of Swords heard enough? Alright, Great Spirit, I'm at 1 hour, Great Spirit. I have really beleaguered the point here, however you say it. I'm going to give it a few more shots here, and if Spirit has nothing else, then I'm going to deem that this reading is pretty clear. And I will hope and pray that you don't let this keep taking away your vast potential. Because I can feel it in you. I can feel. I can sense. What you have to offer to yourself. And it's better than what I'm seeing here. And it's for the lamest reasons that you've locked yourself away. But you can't lock yourself away like that without being so great and so caring. Because that's the only way you can care about somebody who hurt you so much enough to make it your fault. It's time for you to fight for yourself. It's time for you to put this person, it's time for you to put this person's effective you out of your soul. You need to focus on what's good for you, because this person isn't. And this can't take away what greatness you have. I don't know how many more times I can say it like that. It just keeps, I keep wanting to drive it home so bad for some reason in this reading. Like, I keep wanting to, I want to see you overcome this so bad. Alright, Great Spirit, anything else, or am I going to wrap this up? Well, 2 cards of ending on the split. So I think it's probably going to be a good time to call it. Great Spirit, one last run. Anything else for this Queen of Swords to hear? My emotional resonance is pretty on point with this. Great Spirit, anything else? All right. I think that's going to be it for this. Up to 1:05 on this. Okay, so Some people are never going to leave it in the past. Up to this point, you haven't left it in the past, and it rules who you are. It doesn't rule who you are to others, but it rules who you are. And you've given up the fight to even think that you deserve happiness. You think that this and this is what you deserve, but you don't. You can find something better for you. You can find this and this and this. But you might have to take the greatest leap you've ever considered. And make this someone else. Leave behind whatever this meant to you, and replace it with the emperor you deserve. The emperor deserved by the strength in this queen that I see. It does not have to be this person. In you, you can make the difference. You deserve the difference made. I will hope with all my heart and soul. That you can turn towards your own light. Alrighty, Aquarius. That was, in fact, one heck of a reading. I appreciate that you were here. Sometimes readings are interesting. Sometimes readings are fun. Sometimes readings are insightful. But the most special readings of all are the readings that shake my spirit and resonate with my core on an emotional level. So I appreciate it because whoever this is did that for me. So I appreciate it. Alrighty, Aquarius. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you for checking out this video. Good luck. Take care. Hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.